Top of the ninth, Reds trail 10-1 in Arizona. Welcome in, Chatterbox Reds. I'll take you through this last one, Cory. It's my fifth show in 3 days, so not exactly the type of show I was hoping to do on a Saturday night, but here we are. Ke'Bryan Hayes leads us off with a single to left field. How was your Saturday, Cory?
Oh, not too bad at all, actually. Daughter got another volleyball win. We're 4-0 to start the season. Got to catch up with a couple buddies. Got to do a couple fantasy football drafts. So I have to end my day with this crap show. Kind of puts a damper on it, but it is what it is. So
for sure. Will Benson swings at the first pitch and pops it up behind third for the first out of the inning. That'll be one down. Appreciate everybody tuning in for what is sure to be a thrilling edition of Chatterbox Reds. Santiago Espinal, the 9-hole hitter, stands in now with one away in the top of the ninth, facing off against old foe Jake Woodford. Many of you probably remember Jake Woodford from the infamous Nick Castellanos photo where he was safe at the plate and stood up and flexed on Woodford as he tried to tag him, and led to a little bit of a benches clearing scuffle back when Woodford played for the Cardinals. Espinal looks at a strike to even the count at 1-1.
I know you've been busy. Be able to enjoy the Saturday at all?
Well, I did the Bengals show earlier today, and then I immediately transitioned into watching the Reds, and here we are now. So my Saturday was significantly less eventful than yours, as Espinal fights that one off 1-2. But the good news is, at least for me, that the joy of a West Coast game means that there's not a whole lot of updates and stuff that have to happen as the game goes on. So, I can just enjoy the game and focus on getting ready for the show without having to worry about what's happening at the minors and what's happening with all kinds of stuff down there. So
makes it a little easier, no doubt.
Does make it easier. We talked last night, Nabil Crismatt, who was the bulk.
Ground ball, double play. There it goes, buddy. There it goes.
That'll do it. Great.
Yep. Your Cincinnati Reds go down 10-1 to the Diamondbacks on a rough night at the ballpark.
Yep. Well, see y'all in 4 minutes.
Johnny Bench has tied it up. The Cincinnati Reds win the World Series in 4 straight. It was a sweep.
In the dirt, it's a wild pitch. Here comes Walker. The Reds win the pennant.
Larkins won the game.
That ball is fair. Cincinnati's ahead. 2 games to none.
Welcome Joe Landa to Cincinnati. Adam Dunn has done it again.
Benzinger backing and calling. And the 1990 World Championship belongs to the Cincinnati Reds.
Marty, yes. This is Adam from Milwaukee. Hey, Adam, how you doing? I'm good. How are you? Good. Do you think Scott Hatteberg's a good player?
Dunn up there with the bases loaded, the outfield deep and around toward right, and the 1-0 on the way to the plate. Swung on, long drive, right field, and this one belongs to the Reds.
And a high drive. Hit back into deep right field. Junior has just knocked the door down to the 500 club.
Benson's first home run is a walk-off winner. That ball had a family.
And De La Cruz is, oh my goodness, look at this kid run. My, oh my, that is a triple.
Matt McLean's first big league bomb.
Spencer Steer's first big league hit is a home run to straightaway center field. Joey Votto's done it again.
The pitch. Votto swings high in the air. Right field. Yes! He pointed to the dugout to say, I told you. That is Joey Votto's 315th career go-ahead ribby. Only Johnny Bench had more as a Red.
And I can't tell you how much it means to play in front of everyone here in Cincinnati as a Red. What a gift. What a tremendous gift. So thank you. Thank you.
I think I can speak for all of Reds country. Joey Votto, thank you.
High drive, left center field, racing back to the Lourdes Gurriel. The Reds are National League Central Division champions. In the air, left center field. Did he? He did! He did! Reds win! Win! Line into right field. Genius, the first Red ever with 4 home runs in a game. Can you believe it? In the air, down the right field line. Does it have a chance? The Reds have won on a 3-run home run on opening day by Ramon Hernandez. A strike away and out away is Homer Bailey. Ground ball to third. Frazier gloves. Throw to first, and Homer Bailey, for the second time in his major league career, has tossed a no-hitter. Oh, gosh. Oh, my God. Are you kidding me? Holy Moses, the second player in major league history to hit 7 home runs in the first 10 games. In the air, and the Reds win. What a dream beginning to the career of Jay Bruce.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to a less heartbreaking but equally disappointing losing edition of Chatterbox Reds. Corey Phillips joined. I'm Craig Sandlin. Welcome in, everybody. Appreciate you spending your Saturday night with us. Andrew Abbott with quite possibly his worst outing of his career, Cory, and not a good time for it. Bullpen was obviously stretched thin after last night and needed a lot more out of Abbott tonight, and then obviously the offense fails as well.
Yeah, as Cincinnati Reds fans, we have become accustomed to rolling out of bed and expecting 6 innings of 1-run baseball, and it just wasn't going to happen tonight. You just take a shell from Andrew Abbott. Your offense can't get going. Had a couple opportunities there in the first couple innings with a couple runners on, and same old story. Get another strikeout, another rollover, and it's just same old offense, same old different day. So it was definitely a tough one to swallow, and it just seems like a tale of two different teams right now. The Cincinnati Reds are taking it on the chin when they're trying to keep their head above water, and now the Arizona Diamondbacks are catching a little bit of momentum right now, and just seemed to be a tale of two different teams tonight. And the Cincinnati Reds are actually on the opposite end of what is a 10-1 shelling, and yeah, you just got to hope for you put your best foot forward tomorrow and keep our no sweep streak alive. But yeah. What are your thoughts?
Got to have it. Zach Gallen having a rough year and a contract year for him. We'll talk about him later on. So tomorrow kind of becomes a must win, especially with the Mets playing the way they are playing. Diamondbacks have caught fire here in the second half, and unfortunately in a position now where they can put the Reds seemingly out of reach, quite frankly, of the wild card position with another loss tomorrow. So we'll see how the Reds bounce back, but let's get through a box score recap and a deep dive of the game, and then we'll get into some more details. The box score recap, as always, presented by Nicholas Kirby. After an extra innings heartbreaker on Friday night, the Reds turned to lefty Andrew Abbott, looking to bounce back in Phoenix as they take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Things started well for Abbott, retiring the first 2 batters in 3 combined pitches, but things turned quickly. 4 straight 2-out hits from the Diamondbacks give them a 3-0 lead after 1. After his walk-off single last night, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. gave the D-backs another boost in the 3rd inning tonight when he blasted a 2-run home run to make it 5-0 Snakes. Geraldo Perdomo added a 2-out 2-run home run in the 4th to make it 7-0 D-backs, the most runs ever allowed by Abbott. His day would be done after 4 innings pitched, giving up 7 runs, 6 of which were earned on 8 hits, didn't walk anybody, and struck out 6. The story of tonight outside of Abbott is Zach Maxwell making his major league debut. pitching in the 5th. He got the first 2 men out, including a strikeout of Gabriel Moreno, but then gave up a home run to Blaze Alexander before getting Tyler Locklear to strike out looking. Reds trailed 8-0 through 5. Maxwell came back out for the 6th, then picked up another strikeout before allowing a triple to Ildemaro Vargas. Big Sugar was able to strike out Ketel Marte and Geraldo Perdomo and get out of the inning unscathed. Reds got on the board in the 8th inning with an RBI single by Austin Hayes, scoring pinch runner Matt McLean, who was running for Elly De La Cruz, who had doubled earlier in the inning. Brent Suter pitched a scoreless 7th, but allowed back-to-back flare base hits in the 8th to allow the lead to expand to 10-1. That's where it would end. Reds fall 67-63 on the season, 2.5 games out of a wild card spot. But Cory, we did have a deep drive of the game, even if it didn't come from Phoenix. We head to Nashville for tonight's DSC deep drive of the game. Reds' #1 prospect, Sal Stewart, demolished a changeup to left center in the 1st inning for his 8th home run with Louisville and 18th on the season. He'd add another home run later in the game, his 19th of the season. First one, though, was hit 112.4 miles per hour off the bat at a 26-degree launch angle, which measured up to an astonishing 460 feet. You heard that correct. 460 feet. DSC is a leader in renewable commodities for biofuel production, specializing in used cooking oil collection, aggregation, and sales. Visit www.deepsouthcommodities.com for more information. Thanks as always to John and our friends at DSC. All right, Cory, story of this game again, obviously the pitching. We'll start with Andrew Abbott. I said it at the open. I think, obviously the most runs he's given up in his career, but probably the worst outing he's had in total. Just didn't have it. Had the 6 strikeouts, but unfortunately Diamondbacks hitters were just too much for him tonight. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and Trace even posted about it on X. I saw in the middle of the game where he's talking about, we haven't talked about our pitching progression, and it's a tough conversation to have, but you're not gonna get lights out performances every single night like we've been getting since the All-Star break. You went through it last night, the numbers that we've had since the All-Star break from our pitching staff. So we've just come to expect it out of our guys and just didn't get it tonight, and we weren't able to bounce back with our offense and score a couple runs to kind of keep it close there. And so once you don't score those runs and the runs start piling up there at the beginning, it just kind of gets away from you. And it was a tough one to sit through tonight. I'll be completely honest with you. We definitely needed more than 4 innings out of Andrew Abbott with stretching the bullpen out last night. But let's give the flowers to Zach Maxwell. He threw 2 big innings. Suter got us 2 big innings. So still got some fresh arms for tomorrow. So let's try to keep our optimistic hat on as much as we possibly can. As hard a pill as that's going to be to swallow tonight. But you need it out of Andrew Abbott. We didn't get it. On to tomorrow, and hopefully we get a better performance out of Singer tomorrow. So. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously, there's no expectation that you're going to have a stellar performance every single night, and that's unfortunately the way things go. Every pitcher has nights like tonight for Andrew Abbott, but after last night and a walk-off loss to the Diamondbacks in extra innings, it just felt like this was a game that just carried over from last night. And at some point, the Reds are going to have to find a way to stop that, right? So they can't allow it to continue into tomorrow. It almost feels like you need some sort of boost offensively tomorrow, early in the game, get some runs on the board, get some energy and momentum back in this team, and see if you can't squeak out a win before you leave Arizona and head to Los Angeles. Because I tell you what, you haven't been swept on the year, but if you get swept by the Diamondbacks and then you head to play the Dodgers for a series, my head starts to worry a lot about stringing together 5 or 6 straight losses at that point. And if that happens, then you can pretty much write out any hope of the playoffs.
Absolutely. I'm not sure who the Cincinnati Reds made mad in the Major League Baseball scheduling department, but our scheduling has not gone great. I'm not even going to get started on the whole Bristol game, and it's kind of just trickled down from there, and the schedule's gotten a little bit tougher. But you can't make excuses for these guys. You got to go win the games that are in front of you, and we absolutely need a win tomorrow. I mean, you're talking offensive boost. Sal Stewart outscored the Cincinnati Reds by himself tonight. So we've got a little bit of offensive spark when the guy's beating the hell out of the ball and outscoring our Major League Ball Club literally by himself. So if we need some offensive spark, I think we've got a place to look. We just, for whatever reason, seem to be dragging our feet on that one, which obviously that's a quick fix before Arizona tomorrow. But looking down the road, if we need to add some offensive production, especially out of the second base hole where we haven't been getting it all year long, we might have an answer if we're willing to pull that trigger.
It doesn't feel like the Reds are going to pull that trigger now, certainly not in a way that'll allow Sal Stewart to be part of the game tomorrow. If there is obviously a decision to call him up, it feels like it would be to Los Angeles after the Louisville Bats ended their game right around the same time as Cincinnati finished theirs. So getting Sal Stewart on a plane to Arizona before a day game tomorrow feels pretty unlikely, but if he's not in the lineup tomorrow for Louisville, then maybe we can start to prognosticate that maybe he's headed to LA. The other story, obviously, tonight, Zach Maxwell, Cory, made his major league debut, highly anticipated fire flamethrower, goes 2 innings, which I was surprised they sent him back out for a second inning, gives up 2 hits, 1 run. It was a solo home run, but struck out 5. Honestly, the 2 hits he gave up, both were fastballs at or above the top of the zone. Didn't feel like they were necessarily bad pitches, but gave up the two hits nonetheless, including that solo shot. What did you like on Maxwell tonight?
I thought he looked great, man. The 5 strikeouts obviously is going to shine when you look at his stat line, but I feel like it was a good situation. He got all the way broken. I mean, he gave up a home run. He gave up a triple. He already knows what that feels like. Got 5 Ks under his belt. Was able to give up that triple and kind of grind back and get out of that inning without letting that run score. Got a couple big strikeouts right there, a little momentum going. So I liked what I saw out of Zach Maxwell. It's if there is a shining light in tonight's game, that he is definitely it for us. So keep doing what you're doing, Big Sugar, and you're going to be a good addition to this bullpen down the stretch when we're going to absolutely need it, especially when we get performances like tonight out of our starters. So I really like what I got out of Maxwell, and we'll give him the old thumbs up instead of the thumbs down.
Yeah, it was fun watching Maxwell's family and kind of the emotions that they went through, because he gets that strikeout of Gabriel Moreno and his family is all excited and cheering, and then he gives up the home run to Blaze Alexander, and their heads are in their faces are in their hands again, and it's just funny to watch. But shout out to Zach Maxwell. Congratulations on your MLB debut. Unfortunately, my gut is that since they went 2 innings tonight, they're going to send him back down to Louisville pretty quickly, but we'll see if they keep him around or not. But either way, it felt like he definitely laid a good foundation for what we hope will be a very successful MLB career. Again, those 5 strikeouts, I think they said on the broadcast that he's only the 5th pitcher to strike out 5 players in his MLB debut out of the bullpen. So definitely an impressive showing from Zach Maxwell. We'll take a break real quick and remind you that you can call or text 988 anytime, day or night. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is a place to get support for anything related to mental health, whether it's an immediate crisis, simply wanting to find out how to connect with care, or anything in between. It's a 100% confidential, secure, and anonymous way to reach out for help when you don't know where else to turn. To connect, call or text 988 or visit mantherapy.org to get help. It's okay not to be okay. All right, Cory, obviously the big frustration at this point is the continued lack of consistency from this offense. I and many others would immediately turn to guys like Austin Hayes batting cleanup and or fifth hole and not being able to produce. Tonight he goes 2 for 4 and gets that RBI, the lone RBI, but Andujar in the cleanup spot goes 0 for 4. Elly is the bright spot, 2 for 4 with a double. But other than that, not a whole lot. Only 7 hits from this offense, 2 of which were from Ke'Bryan Hayes, 2 from Austin Hayes, 2 from Elly De La Cruz. The only other hit on the day came from Santiago Espinal. You mentioned Sal Stewart. I think I know your answer, but it sounds like you're ready to call him up and have him meet the team in Los Angeles.
We said it last week. What are we going to do? Lose? I mean, come on. I'm so sick of not scoring runs, man. I'm just tired of it. We've got to get some pop in this lineup. I was kind of surprised to not see Will Benson in the starting lineup tonight after Hayes struggled again last night. It's just, I don't know, man. It's absolutely frustrating. You can sit here and beat your head on the wall watching this offense night in and night out. Elly De La Cruz gets a couple hits, and you get a couple guys on base there in the second and third, like we talked about. Trevino strikes out, Andujar rolls over one right there, and it's like, and him not being 100% now, I've got that in the back of my head thinking about that every time he comes to the plate. So I don't know. It's just not a fun situation right now, especially with the whole Tyler Stevenson situation going on. I mean, we definitely could have used him in a couple different situations in the last couple nights. So I don't know what it is about this offense, man, but I'm ready to make some changes and do whatever it is we've got to do, because I mean, what's the alternative at this point?
Yeah. I don't know that there is an alternative other than I think that the Reds are scared to have to DFA people to get people on the 40-man. They're scared to have to make moves that'll rattle a locker room that quite frankly is not exactly producing anyway. So, with all due respect, obviously the benefit is there of the camaraderie that the team may have and everything else, but at some point you're going to have to make a move, and Sal Stewart isn't on the 40-man roster, but there are guys like Connor Joe sitting down in AAA Louisville who could easily be DFA'd, and you move on from them because he's not going to provide anything of value to this Reds team in this year. And if he does have to be relied on to bring value to this team, then it's too late and things are already gone. So, right. For me personally, the question becomes who becomes the odd man out if you do send Sal Stewart to Los Angeles. I know a lot of people will immediately just say Santiago Espinal or Matt McClain or whatever it may be, but just given the Reds' history, I find it hard to believe that that's going to happen. So I don't know. I'd love to see him up here. I'd love to see him give it a chance, especially after the 2 home runs again tonight. But just, my brain is challenging me to think about how the Reds would make that happen. And I don't know that there's an answer that I can easily say, yeah, that's a Reds move. They would totally do that.
And that's kind of where I'm at too. I kind of am looking at it to see where we would make the move, and we have set the precedents in the past to where we're just not gonna shake it up quite like that. I don't know what the answer is or how we get him here, but something's got to give here, man. We can't keep doing this. We're playing way too many good teams coming up. I think out of our last 10 series, 6 of them are in first or second place in their respective divisions. So now's not the time to sit back and hope everything gets right, because we got 32 games to figure this out. And by my calculations, we're going to have to squeak out somewhere around 20 wins in the next 32 games. So now's not the time to sit on your thumbs. Now's the time to shake it up and get it going. So whatever it is we've got to do here, let's do it and get going, because I can't sit through another Saturday night like this. I don't have too many more in me, man.
Yeah, I don't either. All right. Well, any other thoughts on tonight's game before we take a look down on the farm and do our Reds MILB?
No, can we get past this game and just get on to tomorrow already? So give us some MILB. Let's go.
One of those nights that you just burn it and move on. But with two back-to-back disappointing nights in Phoenix, hopefully we can end that streak tomorrow in the afternoon. All right, let's head down on the farm for Reds MILB. We start in Louisville. They pick up a big win in Nashville. They win this one 13-4. The story, as we've already alluded to multiple times at this point, Sal Stewart, 2 for 3 on the night, 2 home runs, including a 460-foot blast, 3 runs scored, 4 RBIs. Sal Stewart is absolutely crushing AAA pitching right now. And quite frankly, it's going to be they're going to continue to hear the noise until they call him up to the major league roster. Blake Dunn continues to hit well at AAA as well. He was 2 for 5 on the day with a double. CES had a nice night, 2 for 5 with a double, a home run, 2 runs scored, and 3 RBIs on the night. Ryan Valade was 2 for 5. Connor Joe was 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs on the night. And PJ Higgins, he was 2 for 5 with 2 RBIs and a home run on the night. In Chattanooga, as good as the game was for Louisville, it was the complete opposite for the Lookouts. They fall to Biloxi 11-1. Jose Acuna started this one. He'll take the loss, but he went 2 innings, gave up 2 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, and a strikeout. So not necessarily anything of his doing, but the bullpen down there in Chattanooga combined for 6 innings pitched and 10 runs allowed. So not ideal from them. Edwin Arroyo was 1 for 4 in the game with a double. Cam Collier was 1 for 3, and Austin Hendrick was 1 for 4. High A Dayton. Did I accidentally put the score in the? I did. I put it as 67-6 in the banner. I can promise you it was not 67-6. In fact, the final score in 10 innings, Dayton squeaks it out 7-6. They get a walk-off sacrifice fly in that one from Peyton Stovall to score Miles Smith in the 10th inning. Carlos Jorge was 2 for 5 with a run and an RBI. Yerlin Confidant 2 for 5 with a triple, 2 runs and an RBI. And Anthony Vargas was 1 for 5 in that one. Ariel Almonte also 0 for 5 in that one with 3 strikeouts. Nothing really to talk about from a pitching perspective there in Dayton. Low A Daytona. Everybody obviously wants to know what Alfredo Duno did today. Well, he didn't play. Instead, Tyson Lewis went 1 for 4 with a run. Bernard Moon 1 for 4 with a double and an RBI. Arnaldo Lantigua went 2 for 4 with 2 runs scored and an RBI. Kian Vu, who had been hitting pretty well, was 0 for 4 today as well for the Tortugas. Nothing really to talk about on the pitching side there. So Daytona loses 4-0 to Bradenton, falls to 57-62. Reds back in action tomorrow. They go up against the Arizona Diamondbacks for the series finale. They will send Brady Singer to the mound. Singer's had an up and down 2025 season so far. He's balanced flashes of brilliance with periods of inconsistency in his first year with the Reds. After being traded from the Royals, Singer has compiled a record of 11-9 with a 4.18 ERA through his first 25 starts. Enjoyed a strong opening, including a dominant 7 1/3 inning pitched performance in late July, but has also struggled with control in some outings. His August has been kind of a microcosm of his year, featuring 2 excellent scoreless starts against the Phillies and the Braves, but also a brief and difficult outing against the Pirates. Overall, Singer has proven to be quite the workhorse, though, at 131 1/3 innings pitched so far. They'll go up against right-handed pitcher Zach Gallen. Gallen has a career worst 5.28 ERA in 2025, which is his final year under contract with the D-backs. Gallen is 2-1 with a 3.52 ERA and 4 starts in August, so slightly better. He was a 3rd-round draft pick in 2016 for the St. Louis Cardinals out of UNC, traded to Miami as part of the Marcell Ozuna deal, then dealt to Arizona for Jazz Chisholm. Gallen relies on 6 pitches, a 4-seamer, a knuckle curve, changeup, slider, cutter, and sinker. His fastball averages just under 94 miles an hour, and batters are hitting 231 with a 330 slugging versus his changeup. Career 1-2 with a 3.48 ERA and 5 starts against the Reds. Last time out was June 8th of 2024 at Great American Ballpark, where he went 6 2/3 innings pitched, gave up 6 hits, 4 runs, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts, but 3 of the 4 hits were home runs. Active Reds against Zach Gallen. Not pretty, Cory.
Not good.
Pretty.
Not good at all.
8 for 63, a 127 batting average. Lux is 2 for 19. Cabrian Hayes is 3 for 13. Friedel's 0 for 8. De La Cruz and Steer are both 0 for 5. Benson 0 for 4. Andujar 0 for 2. McLean, though, 2 for 3 with a home run. And Trevino 1 for 4 with a home run. What are you looking for tomorrow? Just a bounce back performance, Cory?
Yeah. I'm looking for a replay of the June 8th game. It's the exact same starting matchup. Brady Singer, Zach Gallen. So hopefully we can get the best out of Singer and get a bounce back and a little pick me up, I guess, after a couple tough starts from Littell and obviously Abbott tonight. So just a little pick me up and keep our streak going, man. We don't have a lot to hang our hat on right now. So if we can keep the no sweep streak alive and get the hell out of town and get on to Los Angeles for what is it going to be a 3-game absolute battle. So we're kind of chasing the Dodgers right now too. So I want to keep our optimism up. So let's just get a win and get the hell out of town and go and move on to Los Angeles.
Yeah. Quick look around the Major League scoreboard here for tonight. The Cubs, well, just like the Diamondbacks did the Reds, the Cubs are up 10-0 over the Angels in the 6th. Everything else is final. So the Pirates beat the Rockies 5-1. The Giants, they beat the Brewers 7-1. So good outing there. Logan Webb picks up the win in that one. The Mets continue to improve there. Clay Holmes picks up the win in a 9-2 victory over the Braves. And the Padres 5-1 winners over those Dodgers. So everything that the Reds need to have happen, including themselves winning, is not happening. Tough stretch here for the Reds as they are losing ground in the wild card race, and the teams that they are chasing are continuing to win. Well, that'll do it for tonight. Tomorrow is a Sunday edition of Chatterbox Reds. Nick and Trace will be back at it at 9 p.m. Eastern. We appreciate you all tuning in to what was, we know, a frustrating night for the Cincinnati Reds, but hopefully tomorrow will be a winning edition and we can have some positive conversation. Until then, make sure you follow and subscribe to Chatterbox Sports on YouTube and across all the platforms. Chatterbox Bengals will bring you daily content on the Cincinnati Bengals as their season gets started up as well. For Cory, I'm Craig Sandlin. This has been Chatterbox Reds. We'll see you next time.